Yo, what's good, basketball heads? It's your boy Crush. Let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks struggling to win games. They're currently 3 games under 500. So the Dallas Mavericks are currently 1 game out of the play-in. They're 3 games under 500, and it's been terrible. Ever since acquiring Kyrie Irving via trade, the team has been struggling, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on, but from what I'm seeing, it's a lot of your turn, my turn, 1-2 punch. They gave up a lot of pieces to get Kyrie. Their team got a little bit thinner. When you watch these games, it's Kyrie and Luka dominating the shots, and it's not that team-oriented basketball. So they need to get back to playing team-oriented basketball. They play like that at times, but half the times Kyrie and Luka is dominating all the shots, and it's a mess. You have a player like Christian Wood, who's a very good player, and he's lost in the shuffle. In a lot of games, Christian Wood is nowhere to be found. He's not featured. He doesn't get a lot of touches. So ever since Kyrie came over, it's been a mess. And I'm not blaming Kyrie, but it just doesn't look good. Like everywhere he goes, it never turns out good. He went to Boston. That didn't go well. He went to Brooklyn. That didn't go well. Now he's in Dallas, and it's not going well. So it's like, at some point, you got to say, what's going on here? Everywhere Kyrie Irving goes, things just don't pan out. And currently, the Mavs they're free-falling. Since acquiring Kyrie Irving, the Mavs are 6-14. So they only won 6 games since acquiring Kyrie Irving. Out of 20 games, that is insane. So they haven't been playing well. They've been losing games. Even when they only had Luka dominating the ball, they still were a decent, 500 team, a little bit above 500. And now they brought in another player that could also get his own shots and, create his own shots for others. And the team is struggling. Like, that's crazy. So it's not looking good. They just lost last night to the 76ers. And I don't know if it's Jason Kidd's coaching. Well, I got to give some blame to the coach because you're the one who's responsible for the lineup and who you put on the floor. And they need to feature Christian Wood more. They also need to have a more free-flowing offense and not too much rely on Luka and Kyrie to dominate the ball. I get it. Of course, they're the stars. They're the main players. But they need to get the others involved, man. Like, that's a part of the game also. You got to get the others involved. When you look at the stats from last night's game, Kyrie Irving had 20+, Luka had 20+, Tim Hardaway Jr. had 20+, and the rest of the team is single digits. Think about it. No one else had over 10 beyond Kyrie, Luka, and Tim Hardaway Jr., which tells you the ball is not being shared enough. It's too much your turn, my turn between Kyrie and Luka. Your turn, my turn. And that's just not winning basketballs. You're playing against a lot of good teams. You're not going to win game with this your turn, my turn play style. It's not going to work. You got to involve your team. You got to get others involved. Create plays for others so they could get involved in the game. And that's what has been going on since Kyrie joined the Mavericks. I'm excited about Kyrie going to Dallas, honestly. I thought it was a great pickup, but Kyrie got to prove people wrong. He has something to prove. You left LeBron, went to Boston. That didn't work out. You left Boston, went to Brooklyn with KD. That didn't work out. Now you go to Dallas with Luka, and it's not working. I know it's still early, but 20 games to go 6-14 in 20 games, that is horrendous. At least 500, but 6-14? So this team is not playing good. I don't know if it's the coaching. What you got to put some on the coaching. So I could say it's bad coaching to a certain extent. The players got to get their teammates involved more. Not dominate the ball so much, move the ball. And on top of that, you have a team that has terrible defense. They're not a good defensive team. So you have 2 stars who plays no defense. Luka doesn't play defense, period. Kyrie play defense rare. Very rare Kyrie plays good defense. At times, but very rare. So you have 2 superstars who don't play defense. You have a bad defensive team. And you have superstars who are ball dominant and the ball is barely moving at times. Of course, you're going to lose games. This is obvious. and you gave away a lot of pieces in the trade, a lot of assets to get Kyrie, and it's not looking good. I mean, will the Mavericks fire Jason Kidd? I don't think they're going to fire him. Let's be honest, the trade came in at the second half of the season, basically. So you can't go off that and say, okay, let's fire. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't fire somebody based off of a few games. Like, okay, it's the second half of the season. It's like less than 30 games. I'm not making excuses for Jason Kidd, but it is a short stint. I don't think the Mavs are going to fire Jason Kidd in the offseason, but I think next season, if it doesn't work out, there's a chance they might get rid of him. Because how do you go from making the Western Conference Finals to now you're out of the plane, basically? You're struggling to get in the plane. The team was doing fine before acquiring Kyrie. Let's be honest. It was a good gamble. It's a great gamble because even though they were doing okay, we all know the Dallas team prior to getting Kyrie wasn't good enough to win anything. They wasn't good enough to win a championship, no. So either way, they had to make a move. It's a great gamble. But now this is on coaching to bring it all in, bring it together. Yeah, you lost some pieces, some very important pieces, but you have some tools, man. Not the best defensive team, but they still got a solid team. Luka got to commit to playing defense because he doesn't play a lick of defense, and he's not trying to play any defense whatsoever. Luka only cares about scoring the ball and passing the ball at times. As far as committing to defense on the other end, nope. Kyrie is once in a while, not often. So you have two players, superstars, who defense is nowhere in sight, and a team that is not good defensively. Of course you're going to struggle. And a player in Christian Wood, who's a very good player, but most of the games he's lost in the shuffle. He's in the doghouse. For some reason, they don't utilize him. A lot of times they don't run plays for him. They don't. So of course the team is going to struggle because right now the coaching is not that good. And J Kidd is a very good coach, but right now he's not in his bag right now as far as coaching the team up, and they're struggling, man. They are struggling. They're losing games. A lot of games they lost was because they were unable to close the games, and that's another situation. When you have Luka and Kyrie on the same court together on the same team, closing games shouldn't be a struggle. But for some reason, the Mavs have lost a lot of close games this season because their inability to close games. They can't close these games. Games that they should win, close games down to the wire. They can't seem to close these games. So they lost a lot of games because of that. Ever since acquiring Kyrie, and that's weird. Like, you have Luka and Kyrie on the same court and you can't close games. That's crazy. So J Kidd's going to have to figure something out, man, because if this team missed the playoff, it's going to be crazy. If the Mavericks miss the playoff, which I don't think they are, I'm going to bet on them. I don't think they're going to miss the playoff, but if they were to miss the playoff, it's a wrap. You can't have Kyrie and Luka on the same court, the same team, and you miss the playoff. Come on, man. So right now, the Mavericks are underachieving. They're not playing well. Coaching got to be better. Different lineups and decisions. Matt Barnes, he might be onto something. Once again, I love Kyrie. You'll never hear me blast Kyrie, get at Kyrie. I like Kyrie's game. And Kyrie, my dudes, I don't have any personal issues with Kyrie, but I got to keep it 100. Everywhere Kyrie goes, it don't work out. I don't know why. Anywhere, every team he has been on ever since he left the Cleveland Cavaliers, it never worked out. He went to Boston, that didn't go well. He went to Brooklyn, it didn't go well. Now he's in Dallas, and it's the same situation. So he's just moving around from team to team, and it never works out. For some reason, I don't know why. But more so for Kyrie and Luka, I guess, because they're so similar. Let's be honest, they're similar players. Kyrie and Luka is very similar in their skill sets. So it's kind of like, it kind of clashes a little bit. If Luka had somebody who was polar opposite of him in play style and skill set somewhat, or a player that plays a different position, it would have been better for the Mavs. But you brought in Kyrie, who's a shooting guard. Luka is a shooting guard, a point guard, shooting guard per se. So you have two players with similar skill sets, and that just doesn't work. Mav need another superstar who plays a different position. Maybe a center, a power forward. There's just something different. But you have two guys who plays similar positions, and their game is so similar, and it's not working. The Mavs were expected to become one of the top teams in the Western Conference. Once everybody heard, oh, they got Kyrie or they traded for Kyrie, everyone is like, okay, the Mavs is going to be a problem. Even I was like, the Mavs, they're going to be a problem, which they should have been, but it's not working. They can't close games. Christian Woods got lost in the shuffle. Kyrie and Luka, most games is 1-2 punch. What about the team? So they got to play better team basketball. J-Kid got to get in his bag and start coaching better. And it's not looking good for Kyrie. Beyond anything else, it is not looking good for Kyrie. Everywhere you have went, it never worked out. It hasn't worked out. Things could turn around, but they needed to turn around quick because right now they're out of the play-in, and if the Mavs miss the playoff, that is not good for the NBA. Mark Cuban is going to be pissed off because the Mavs making the playoff is money. That's a lot of money that he's going to miss out on if they don't make the playoff. So J-Kid need to get it together. Right now they're 37-40. Prior to acquiring Kyrie Irving, they was above 500, so they were doing better. They brought Kyrie Irving in, and the team tanked. Now the team is just on a downfall spiral, and it's a mess. It's a mess in Dallas right now. It is a mess. As much as I enjoy Kyrie's game, and I like watching him, it is a mess. So this is what Matt Barnes had to say. It just seems like everywhere Kyrie goes, there is an issue, Barnes said. Now that could be a coincidence, or it could be that Kyrie is the issue. Again, as great a talent, he is a top 5 talent, no doubt. But it just seems like every time he makes a pit stop, gets effed up. And I'd agree. So that's what Matt Barnes had to say. You just got to call it for what it is. That is the situation. Everywhere Kyrie Irving goes, it doesn't work out. It's always issues, even if it's not related to him personally. It might not be issues as dramatic, but there's always some kind of issue. Why can't he just go to a team and it actually works out? There's always an issue, with winning and just, there's always an issue. Every team Kyrie Irving goes to. Like, why is that? Is he cursed? I don't know, but everywhere he goes, there's an issue. And on top of that, Luka openly admitted to being frustrated with the Mavericks' poor form. So that could be also a hint that, I'm not happy playing with this guy. That could be the case. Maybe Luka is not happy playing with Kyrie Irving. Maybe he thought it would have worked, or, in his mind, it's like, yeah, I could get a guy that could actually help me. He could create his own shots, but things haven't come to fruition. Not yet. The team is losing. Out of 20 games, they lost 14. 14 games out of 20. That's horrendous. Since Kyrie Irving joined the team. They were doing way better prior to Kyrie being traded to Dallas. I'm just keeping it real. Kyrie got there. I don't know what's going on. Is it Kyrie? Is it J-Kid's coaching? Is it Luka? What is it? I don't know. Christian Woods needs to be featured more. They barely use him. Half the time he get lost in the shuffle. Kyrie is a new kid on the block, so Wood get thrown to the side. As a coach, you want to incorporate all these pieces. Christian Wood is a pretty good player, but, we have Kyrie, so, he's on the back burner. That's not how you want to coach the team. You want to try to find a way to incorporate all the ingredients to make a solid team, but J-Kid got to figure this out because you cannot have the Mavericks with 2 superstars in their primes miss the playoff. It's not going to look good. It's not good for the NBA. It's definitely not good for Dallas, and Mark Cuban would be pissed. So J-Kid got to get it together, figure out some things, go back to the drawing board. He got to figure out some things because this ain't it. It ain't working. Let's be honest, the Dallas Mavericks are on the verge of being eliminated from the playoff. They're almost eliminated from playoff contention, and that is insane. But we're going to see what's to come moving forward. Hopefully, J-Kid could figure it all out. Kyrie and Luka could get on the same page, figure out a way to win these games, close these games. Luka needs to commit to defense because he plays zero defense. For some reason, in his mind, defense don't matter. which is terrible. You don't have to be the best defender. It's about effort. Even if you're not the best defender, at least effort. And he doesn't play a lick of defense. He doesn't care to play defense. And that's a terrible way to be as a star, a superstar. Once again, you don't have to be the most athletic, all that. No. Defense is a 1-2 situation. Either you want to try to play some defense or you just like, I don't care about it. And Luka obviously seems like he don't care about defense. Kyrie played defense at time here, there. So you have two superstars who don't commit to playing defense. Of course you're going to struggle. And on top of that, they're ball dominant. And half the time it's your turn, my turn. You got to get the team involved. So J-Kid got to figure this all out. He's the coach. So I got to put most of this on him. He's the coach, obviously. So he got to figure this out, man. So let me know what your thoughts are below, man. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. As always, I'll holla. As always, we just talking basketball. Hit the subscribe button. Like, comment, share. Holla at your boy.
It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about the game. I'ma say it. It's all about the game.